Hello, everyone. Welcome to another series on mental well-being. We are here to talk about stress at the workplace, how nutrition and lifestyle can contribute to your resilience. My name is Rifki Zamzam, and we got Dounya Darani online, our nutritional expert. Dounya, if you can introduce yourself.
Hello everyone. I'm Dounya and I'm a certified health coach and a nutritional therapist. So I'm certified by the Dr. Sears Wellness Institute as a health coach. And my passion is just to help people to learn more about how they can improve their health through small habits and, small lifestyle changes. So health coaching and just educating people about health and wellness is a real passion of mine. And I just love helping people to learn more about how what we eat and different lifestyle factors can really help us transform our lives just through simple daily habits.
All right, thank you so much. Topic is quite an old topic and everyone seems to talk about it, but then no one has drawn the connection between how food and how lifestyle, all that connects. And I think I found the right person, the right expert to discuss this and to give all our listeners practical tips on what stress is, why stress at the workplace is a growing concern. End of the day, stress in moderate quantities or at some level is good because you help build resilience. So I would like to open it up by saying, now, how do we understand stress at the workplace?
Okay, so stress in the workplace is like stress in any other situation or environment. Stress is, just to define stress on its own, it very simply, we hear this word stress all the time. It's so common. We're all suffering from stress. But it's just a very normal and actually healthy physiological response from our body. It's very important for our bodies to feel stress. And, stress is like, it's a fight or flight mode. So if you're about to be attacked by a lion, your body goes into stress mode and it sends the blood to blood flow to your legs. It increases cortisol, so you're ready to run away from the predator. And that's what stress was back then. It's completely healthy to be able to feel stress for short-term periods when you go through difficult times in life. Sometimes you go through traumatic times. Sometimes, we go through a journey through life is always up and down, and it's normal to feel stress. The thing about stress in the workplace and what's happening nowadays is that we're feeling constant, chronic, low-grade stress. And from our work. So from the constant pressures that so many of us are feeling at work, from deadlines, the pressures from conflicts that we're having with our colleagues, with other teams and different departments, these pressures are just increasing all the time. And we are constantly, instead of feeling short-term periods of stress, we're having low-grade chronic stress. And this is what's really starting to impact people's health, both mentally and physically as well, which we'll go into later. So yeah, this is the difference about workplace stress.
Thank you so much. It actually got me thinking on that part. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. When there is a certain amount of stress, you build resilience, you get used to it. When you do face something for the first time, like a new task, you do feel stressed as to how you're going to be successful, how you're going to do this. Could you just explain that a little bit? You did make a very valid point. Prolonged quantities of doses, like small doses of stress, can have an adverse effect, or
Yes.
Sometimes it can have, a much different effect where people can feel a bit more resilient.
Yeah, definitely. Stress is definitely there for a reason. And there's good stress for sure. The good type of stress is the one that, when, like you said, you've got a new challenge at work, you initially feel a bit nervous, depending on obviously different characters. And this is the thing, people deal with stress differently. But sometimes, someone who might feel naturally a bit anxious would, their heart will start racing and they're like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And they might feel more worried about how to achieve success in a specific task or challenge. But that kind of stress response, that heart racing, that increased blood, that then gets the blood flow going to your brain, and it helps you sort of focus more, and it helps you really try to achieve better what you want to achieve. So that's a good thing, because if you don't have that stress, feel indifferent to things, Let's say you're offered a promotion at work and it might feel like a bit of a challenge, and you might think, oh my God, I don't know do this. But, that little spike in cortisol for that short term gets that blood flowing, and it gets you thinking, no, maybe I can do this, maybe, and it's adrenaline as well. That's the other thing, the other hormone that we feel when we're stressed. And it'll increase his focus because like I said, in older days, if we needed to run away from a predator, we definitely have a very high level of focus, so stress gives us that focus. And so it's important for us to differentiate between the two different ones. And like I said, we tend to be feeling more of the bad stress nowadays, but definitely stress is there for a reason, and it's important for us to understand when it is there, let's use it to help us, but let's find ways to really help us manage the more negative types of stress as well, because there are ways to manage it better.
What you said actually reminded me about someone telling me, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade out of it. I mean, the way you said it, it's like sounds very positive, and it depends on how you take it. So thank you so much for that. So coming to the second part of the program, the role of nutrition in stress management. I think this is a very key factor. Some of us do know how food contributes to stress, what we have to eat for that day, or how we have to manage our meals, our nutrition. Some of us may not. How do we help people, or how do we advise them on how to manage their nutrition, how to manage their meals?
Yeah, so I think that this is really something that a lot of people overlook, and I think there's still we don't often create that connection between the stress that we're feeling at work and just, when we talk about stress, also we're talking about, this tends to lead to things like anxiety, mental health issues, irritability, low mood, things like that. So this is the impact of stress, what you eat and, how you live your life outside of work and even during work, of course. You can really have a really a good impact on these stress levels and the impact of stress, the low mood and the irritability. So yeah, I think, there's actually a new field of work called Nutritional Psychiatry, which looks specifically at how nutrition can affect your mental health. Because one of the things I just wanted to mention is that, we need to remember that stress and the impact of stress, it's obviously affecting our mind and our brain. And we've got to remember that our brain is an organ just like any other organ in the body. So that's why if we went to the doctor and we had a problem with our heart or any other organ, the doctor would always mention our diet and what we're eating to look after our heart. And it's the same with your brain, really. If you eat the right things, you can protect your brain and help it become stronger and manage the stress better, so that you don't feel those negative impacts of the stress that you're feeling at work. So yeah, that's an introduction to this area of nutrition and stress, and it is important to start creating the link between what we eat and how we feel, basically.
Thank you so much. For example, for me, when I get stressed, my go-to is chocolates. May not be the right choice of food, but then it does help cope up. Just to save myself from that, I would just say I'd go for the 80% dark or the 90% dark, slightly a healthier alternative. Am I doing the right thing?
Right. So when you say, because you're going for the 80% or the dark chocolate, that's okay. I'd say yes, that's definitely allowed. Dark chocolate is definitely considered a health food, and people should not deprive themselves of that. But there is this, what you said definitely is very common, that when people feel stressed, they do naturally crave comfort foods. So, and then they think that, that might be helping them, but really in the long run, it isn't helping at all, and it will exacerbate the stress feeling and the anxiety that you're going to feel that comes along with that stress. Well, it's not about choosing the foods at that time you're feeling stressed, but it's about what you eat on a day-to-day basis. I'm not saying cut out all sweets and sugary foods, but we do have to understand that they do have a negative impact on our health, and they do directly link. They will trigger that the irritability and the low mood, and they will make it worse. Because sugar and any foods with artificial sweeteners, flavorings, any processed foods actually can be considered anxiogenic foods, which means they can increase anxiety. So if we're already feeling a little bit anxious at work and in life in general, which we all are, it's that these foods do make that worse, and we have to try to find alternatives. So It's just about looking at more unprocessed, natural, real foods and incorporating them into our daily lifestyle. And they will help us build resilience because they help strengthen our brain and they help us increase our mood and feel better. So when we do have a stressful situation at work, because we've got that ammunition, with the nutrition and the right foods, we will tackle these stressful situations in a much better way.
Thank you. You actually gave me some another thought. Now, most of us, we're on these diets. We are on different types of diets, keto diet, and keeping away from carbs, and then adding up these proteins day after day, and all that. Is that something that someone should keep in mind, whether it contributes to stress or whether it helps a person manage the stress? Is there a relation between the two?
There's so many diets out there, like you said. There's all these different diets, and it always depends, what's the latest trend and everything. A lot of the diets are good and they have a lot of benefits because most of them are going to help you improve your health. But I think there's just so many different diets and so many different things going on social media. It can get quite confusing. And I always tell people just follow a very simple approach. Just eat real food. So food that is minimally processed, that comes from nature. I know you definitely will be experiencing food that is grown naturally, any plant-based food, any natural animal food, meat, organic, anything. For me, it's all about minimally processed foods. Your question, yes, there is an impact. So there are different diets. They do have different benefits, but I just try to simplify things and just say, just look at a diet, don't even follow a diet. It's not really a diet, it's a lifestyle. We have to find the right lifestyle the kind of diet that we can do for life, not something that's just for a month or a few weeks, And that's why I always say, just eat real food, vegetables, fruits, and meat and animal food, just things that are natural, that come as they are in nature. And when you focus on make 80% of what you eat come from these natural sources, you will just feel totally different. You will just naturally have better mood, better energy, and just feel more, just better in yourself. And this will automatically help you manage your situations in life better. So it's just kind of a natural process, and it leads to always more positive effect, because also the things that we're eating, if I just give you some examples, if you eat eggs and turkey and chicken, those foods contain a compound called tryptophan, which helps us to create serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter that is created in our gut. And serotonin is used to create a better mood and a calm feeling in our body. So it's important to eat foods like that. And for example, eating foods that are rich in magnesium will help reduce feelings of anxiety and stress as well. So you get magnesium from leafy greens, vegetables, any green vegetables, nuts and seeds, things like pumpkin seeds are great for that. And if you incorporate those things, that automatically you will notice that you sleep better, you feel much calmer during the day. And of course, when you sleep better, that also is really important to being able to take on the challenges of the day. And B vitamins like B6 and B12, these are really important for maintaining steady energy levels. Yeah, just energy and just being able to handle things and feel calmer because you have that steady energy throughout the day. So all these things, these foods are creating that resilience, through your mind. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I was about to come to that, what are the things that we have to take, the supplements and all that, and you actually went into that. Thank you so much. So I would like to move into segment 3, the lifestyle factors that build resilience. We have to be stronger. We have to stay positive. We have to come out of a situation. The analogy that you gave us, fight or flight response, over time, people did get used to it, what to do, how to defend ourselves, how to come out of this. To me, a calmer mind will help you resolve or help you get through that stress. So coming back into the lifestyle factor that build resilience, what would be your advice?
So when we're talking about lifestyle, now we're going a bit broader, not just about what you eat and what you put into your body, but just other things in your life, other habits that you incorporate into your life. So things like exercise. Now, exercise is really important for mental health. And when I talk about mental health, stress and mental health, they're connected. Feeling stressed does impact your mental health. So what I advise for just incorporating any type of exercise into your daily routine. It doesn't have to be an intensive gym session or regular gym session every day. It has to be something that you enjoy. And whatever exercise you will do, that's the exercise that you need to do, because people just set such high goals that they end up doing nothing. But because we work so much, we lead such sedentary lifestyles, we're always sitting. And this is really kind of also very hard because, sitting is now called the new smoking. It's that bad for us, So I suggest things like having walks. Just go for a walk, a 30-minute walk every day when you can. Take the stairs when you can. Just incorporate movement. And what that does is that movement improves your blood circulation, opens up your blood vessels, and this naturally reduces inflammation in your body, because it actually creates something called nitric oxide, which is produced in our blood vessels, and this is our body's natural medicine. And stress has a direct impact on all your organs actually in your body. It can really affect our health both mentally and physically. Also, doing any form of exercise is proven to improve our mood. And it's proven to work just as well as antidepressants. And other lifestyle factors are things like positive thinking. Really try to sort of teach yourself to think positive about situations, have a positive mindset, because this also helps us when we're dealing with stress and, building that resilience in difficult situations.
Thank you so much. Actually, this morning I had a cycling around the countryside, around the paddy fields and the little hills and crescents, and it's all green and so nice. Our listeners might be wondering, where is this guy? He's supposed to be in Doha, but then, it's such a blessing. And what you're saying, absolutely right. So one of the things that I do is every time, something does come to mind that bothers me or stresses me out, I try to think positive as much as I can. That's always a better alternative. That opens up the topic of mindfulness, right? One of the things that I've heard or I've been told in the past is when feeling stressed is to take slow breaths, just have a 2-minute walk, maybe listen to some music, maybe watch something funny, and then snap back in. How true is this?
Yeah, this is, absolutely 100% true. You can't imagine the difference that makes just to take that time to breathe, because a lot of us, we're not breathing properly, and we're so tense all the time, so busy. We forget to just take deep breaths. But when you pause and really take a deep breath into your abdomen, you bring in all that oxygen, it goes to your cells, and it gives your body a feeling of safety. And one of the things about being under stress is that we don't feel safe. Our body doesn't feel safe. And that's why it's kind of on high alert. And that's why we tend to, when people are stressed, they feel on edge. They feel like they're overwhelmed, they're on edge, they're anxious. I know sometimes it's so hard to just take that time to meditate or to just take 5 minutes to focus on your breath every day. But when you get into the habit of doing that, you can literally transform how you feel that day, just gives your body it calms your nervous system. And most of us, our nervous system is very on edge, it's very tense. So that breath, that just literally taking 5 minutes to take a deep breath in, and then you breathe when you exhale. So breathe in and hold for about 5 seconds. Breathe in, count to 5, hold it for about 4 seconds. And then when you breathe out, try to breathe out for even longer than breathing in. And when you're breathing out, you just bring in like a real sense of calm to your body. And it's good to do that in the morning before you start your day, because it helps you feel like you can really conquer, any challenges that are coming. You can handle everything a lot better. So this is really important. And then, you can get into, if you have people try to, then move into like a meditation practice. But when we talk about meditation, people start to think, oh, I don't have time, or it's too complicated. It's just really just taking time to breathe. Initially, it's just focusing on your breath and focusing on just being present just for that moment, before you start the day. And it really makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually correct. The thing is, these are things which it's built into our nature. We often forget, and I think you very rightly put it. Reminding us on how to de-stress, how to cope up with stress, how to manage, and the reactions in our body. So thank you very much for that. There's a lot of new things which I learned from you. The other thing is the importance of sleep. Some of us take sleep for granted. Some of us, we go to bed at 10 and wake up at 4, while some of us go to bed at 12 midnight and then wake up at 2, 3 in the morning, or maybe at 4 in the morning. To me, that's not enough sleep. And it definitely has an impact on how you manage stress and how your day works for that day. Could you just advise us on this?
Yeah, definitely. Sleep is another factor. So I'm really glad that you brought these things up, because it's not just about, what you eat. It's all these different things. And when you can look at each of these different elements and try to work on each of them a little bit, you can really transform how you feel. So sleep is essential to us being able to our health, and to being able to build that resilience, everyday calmness. I think people should really prioritize a minimum of 7 hours of sleep a night. Anything less than that, even if it's just 1 hour to 2 hours less, the next day you definitely feel a difference, and it really impacts your cognitive function, And so when we're busy at work, we're already stressed, and if we have less sleep than we should be having, it will really impact how we're able to handle these situations. And then with the stressful feeling, the irritability, and the low mood, it just gets even more when we don't sleep enough. So sleep is important, and it's really important to try to sleep a little bit early, like 10 p.m. is perfect, it's ideal. But the earlier you sleep, the better you'll feel the next day. It's not about sleeping at 12 or 1 and then getting the 7 to 8 hours. It's better to sleep 10 or 11 and then get 7 hours. And it's also really important to have a bit of winding down time before you sleep, like just reduce your screen times, reduce the bright lights, allow your body to know it's nighttime now. This is the time to rest. And our body functions best when we eat during the day, when it's daylight, and when the sun sets and it gets dark. This is the resting time, rest and digest time. The digesting time, the eating time is during the day, and the resting time is at night. So let's try not to eat too much before bed, reduce screen times, and these will help us actually sleep better, have a deep and more better quality of sleep. Because while we sleep, that's when we heal. That's when everything that our body processes everything. It detoxes during the time that we sleep. So if we try these things, when we wake up after 7 to 8 hours, we should feel more fresh, and again, we feel like we can really handle things much better.
I think the reduction of screen time is something which all of us must get used to. I mean, with the amount of social media, it doesn't help in any way. I mean, the small doses of it does help, to entertain you. But then if you have it 15 minutes before you shut down, it really doesn't help you sleep proper.
Exactly. Yeah, it can really affect the quality of your sleep. Yeah, even you think you might be sleeping, but it won't be as good quality as before bed.
Yeah, thank you very much. Dunya, I'd like to move on to this fourth segment, practical steps for employees and organizations. For them to manage stress, for them to manage their lifestyle, to connect the dots between stress and mindfulness, and how nutrition and how lifestyle helps them become resilient and helps them manage stress and help them improve the quality of life. What would be some tips that they can do on a daily basis? I know you mentioned this before, but I think it will help people to summarize this, to learn from.
Yes, okay. Exactly. So I think, when we're leading that busy life, we're going to work every day, we want to find little ways of adding a few things that will help us really to, improve our health and help us build resilience. So like I said, try to incorporate movement, because movement really helps you clear your mind and think clearly and stay calm. So if you're at work all day, try to, take the stairs when you can, go for little walks, take a break, and prioritize taking breaks, and get outside and get some natural sunlight on your face, get some fresh air, just walk around the block, even for 5 minutes. Just say, just say to yourself, this is important for your health, all kinds of health. This will help you cope with your stress and with your feelings, your mood, everything. That is all health. So take those breaks, get out for little walks. The other thing is, think about what you're eating during the day. It's great to if we have time, to take some food with us, take snacks, healthy snacks to work, because eating, sometimes it's easy to have like small mini meals that are nutritious mini meals or snacks that help us keep going throughout the day, and they maintain a steady glucose levels, like blood glucose levels, instead of kind of having, I don't know, rushing out the house and then grabbing a croissant and then not eating until 3 p.m. and then because we're busy with meetings and things like that, and then we can feel ourselves getting hungry, but then we don't have time to eat, and then we start drinking coffee. It doesn't work. You're just going to start feeling worse and worse. So it's really important to try to plan your meals. If you don't have time, if you don't take any food with you, try to make sure you allocate a time to eat your meal and get something healthy. Make sure you have a balanced meal with always including protein, some fat, and some fiber. So fiber will be of some kind of vegetable. Your protein is really important, whether that's, legumes, beans, meat, eggs, fish, any kind of protein. If it's just a small snack, take some boiled eggs to work as well, have some carrot sticks with some hummus. Hummus is a great source of protein as well. Protein helps us feel calm as well as keeping blood sugar levels stable. Also helps us feel calm, which is really important when we're working all day at the office. And it gives us that feeling of being full as well, which is really good as well. So we don't keep, feeling hungry and craving, sugar. And the other thing that happens at the office is, in the afternoon, we start to have this slump where we feel low energy, and then we go to the vending machine or we try to look for a bar of chocolate. So I've been there, I've experienced it all, and so you want to get that chocolate bar, and then that chocolate bar keeps you going for a couple more hours. That's when you feel the crash, and then you don't have the energy for anything in the evening. You don't have the energy for your family or your kids. It's better not to wait until you get home to have your meal, because even if you have your meal, it's too late. You already feel tired, you're burnt out, So what you eat throughout the day from the morning onwards is going to help you have that steady flow of energy, and and taking those little walks will help you so that at least when you get home, you still have some energy left for, especially when you have kids and a family. It's so important to be able to spread out your energy and your attention levels for everyone, so that it's not all given to work and then you've got nothing left at the end of the day, So a little, short walks, meals, like healthy balanced meals or snacks. Take some fruit with you, take boiled eggs, take carrot sticks, cheese cubes, cheese sticks, things like that, protein, vegetables, things that you can snack on. That will really help to feel calm throughout the day.
You actually made me feel a little bit guilty, because when you say chocolates, I always go for the chocolate first thing in my mind. But I do carry smoothies and fruits with me. Yeah, but thank you very much. So we've come towards the end. So let me just conclude, and please feel free to add some whatever advice you can towards the end. Okay, so to recap, so stress is something that is very common. The cortisol levels, how we manage stress, how we adjust our lifestyles. And we encouraged our listeners on managing their lifestyle, which helps them manage the stress levels. And it also helps them manage their resilience levels as well. The meals that we take, and we connected the dots on stress, how the nutrition helps with managing stress, how it helps build resilience, how de-stressing, how reducing screen time, how breathing, meditation adds to this as well. I would like to invite listeners to subscribe, like, and comment on the video, so that maybe we could have a second session so that we know exactly what they want addressed. So feel free to add something, Dounya, if you feel that I've missed.
I think I've pretty much mentioned everything, but I would just always think about small habits and any small thing that you can do today that can help you feel better. It's not about any drastic changes to your lifestyle. Small steps can really make a big difference. That's the main thing I'd like to say. And if anyone wants to ask me any questions as well, they can find me on Instagram, and I'm on true.health.coach. I'm always happy to help and share more information about this area. I find it really interesting, and I think it's really important to understand that there are ways that we can support ourselves to manage the stress, because it's not going to go away, and it's more about finding ways to kind of manage it and finding ways to support our body in managing it and making sure it doesn't kind of affect our health.
So to our viewers, we will be dropping in links to Dounya on her Instagram and the way to communicate with her. So feel free to like, share, and subscribe. We hope that this would improve your lifestyle. This would hope that this would bring in a new perspective. The new knowledge is something that you could use every day. So thank you very much. Thank you, Dounya, so much. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.